Hi guys, I am just making this quick video for you to show you, it's really to illustrate the points in a blog post that I wrote about switching from JPEG to RAW or deciding if you should do that or not. So the only point of this video is just to kind of show you the basic minimal editing you would need to do on a RAW file. So if you're feeling overwhelmed switching to RAW, this is just the basic of what you would need to do to turn it into something like what would come out of out of camera in a JPEG. So this image is straight out of camera, shot in RAW format. Obviously this is a little gray and not pretty. Had I shot this in JPEG, it would have come out looking a little more finished, but with less information to work with if I wanted to do more to this later. So this is kind of just a typical scene during the day, walking around at the beach. Now, the first thing I would do is just kind of lift some of these shadows a little bit. And this would actually be something that the camera would fail at a little bit in a JPEG format. But just before I up the exposure, I'm just going to pull that out, maybe drop the highlights a little bit. And the main thing that your camera will do when you're shooting in JPEG is it will add contrast to a scene. So that's the main thing that you have to add in a RAW file. Now you can either add contrast with the contrast slider here, or you can do it with your whites and black sliders, or both. So since I don't have a white point here on my histogram, everything's kind of skewed left, I'll start with that. I'll start with bringing up that white point, and that's going to add contrast as well as brighten it up a little bit and give me a little more range there of light. And then I'm still going to pop this exposure up just a little bit. And so this is a situation where if your image is too dark in camera, like you were shooting with the wrong settings, it was underexposed, you can correct that better with a RAW file, but still with a JPEG. But so basically that's what I would do. I would still even add maybe a little more contrast here. And then the other thing that your camera will do when it's shooting in JPEG is it will saturate the colors a little bit. So add some vibrance here to make it a little more, make those blues really pop, and even, you know, a little clarity here. And then, you know, that's pretty good. So that's pretty much, had I shot in JPEG, that's pretty much what the part that the camera would have done for me. Now, of course, we can do way more to this image, and having a RAW file, we can always go back later and work on that. We could clean up some of the sand. We could do a lot more to this as a RAW file than we would be able to with a JPEG. But I really just wanted to show you the minimum that you would have to do to switch to RAW shooting and do some of that just basic editing yourself. So I'm not sure if this was helpful or just super basic, but again, it's to accompany a blog post. So hope you guys have a great day. Now I would just export this as a JPEG and I'm ready to go.